Hello friends, today we are going to cover another search algorithm, uninformed search algorithm, that is depth limited search algorithm. So how many search algorithms we have covered up till now? We have covered in case of uninformed search strategies, we covered breadth first search, which searches the goal node breadth wise. We also discussed depth first search, which follows the deepest path, depth path of the shallowest node along one direction. If the goal node is found, then search is stopped, otherwise it backtracks, the algorithm backtracks to the other nodes of the search tree. Okay, so these two we covered. Now today we are going to cover depth limited search algorithm. These all search algorithm comes under uninformed search, wherein you only need the start node and the goal node. So start node or initial node and goal node or root node. Okay, so in case of depth limited search, we will go through one example. This DLS, depth limited search, is similar to depth first search, but the difference is predetermined limit. It is similar to DFS with a predetermined limit. It can solve the drawback of infinite path in the depth first search. What is that drawback? If in case of DFS algorithm, if the left particular node is expanded during searching, for example, S is the parent node or root node in this case, and A is a child node, H is child node. So left node is expanded according to DFS algorithm first, and this depth, this particular one direction is explored completely until the shallowest node is reached, and if that shallowest node is goal node, then and then only search will be stopped. But suppose along this direction there are large number of nodes, then in that case this DFS algorithm get trapped into the infinite loop, means it loops from S to A to B, B to D, to next node, to the next node, and so on. So looping will be infinite. So in that case the solution we generally do not get. Okay, so this is the drawback of DFS algorithm, depth first search. So this drawback can be overcome in DLS because there is a predetermined limit in this particular algorithm. This search strategy is similar to DFS with little difference. The difference is that in DLS we limit the search by imposing a depth limit L. This is very important. Depth limit L is imposed to the depth of search tree. It does not need to explore till infinity. That means the search algorithm do not go to the deepest node along one direction. It checks the limit. If the limit is crossed, then it will stop going into that direction. It stop going into the chosen path because the limit of that particular path is closed or it is reached. As a result, DFS can also be treated as a special case of DLS. Advantages are DLS is memory efficient as compared to DFS. This search strategy is not complete. It does not provide optimal solution. Okay, let us take an example. Let us consider a search tree for certain given problem. In above figure, depth limit is 1. For example, the depth limit imposed on the searching is 1. We can impose depth limit to either 0, 1, 2 and so on. So only level 0 and 1 gets expanded during searching. So from A to B and B to C. So for example, the depth limit is 1, so therefore A is explored in this direction to B. As the depth limit is reached 1, so therefore it goes to the C. It will not traverse along the same direction in which DFS, depth first search, goes. Depth first search goes along the same route until the last node is reached of that path. Last node of that path is reached. But here, as the limit imposed in this particular problem is 1, then it will move from A to B and then from B to C. But there is no guarantee that the solution is obtained. Why? Because if C is not a goal node, if B is not a goal node, then you may not get the solution, because here in this particular problem I is supposed to be the goal node. Okay, so this is the disadvantage of DLS. But in case if the C is the goal node, then with this particular predetermined limit 1, we can very easily get the goal node during our traversing. Okay, so sometimes DLS may be useful, sometimes it may not be useful. It is not giving satisfactory result because we could not reach the goal node I. Now, for example, the predetermined limit is 2. Suppose here it was 1. Now, suppose the predetermined limit is 2. So, what will happen during the traversing? From node A is expanded in this fashion, then from B D will be expanded, and then from D the algorithm searches for the node E, it moves to then F in this fashion, okay, like this and so on. So, this is the idea of DLS algorithm. So, what is the algorithm? Set root node, this is step number 1. Set goal node or goal state, step 2. Step 3, set a variable limit which carries a depth limit value. Loop each node by traversing in DFS manner. Okay, means it will follow the rules of DFS, but it will continuously check this depth limit. If the depth limit along one direction is reached, then it will not follow that particular path, it will go to nodes on another path. Okay, while performing, step number 5 is while performing the looping, start removing the elements from stack in last in first out order. Okay, so LIFO is the base for DLS as well, like DFS. If the goal state is found, return goal state, else terminate the search, means stop the search. So, this is the algorithm of DLS algorithm. Performance measures, 4 performance measures. If we evaluate what is the performance of DLS algorithm regarding completeness, it does not guarantee to reach the goal node. This is what we explained in this particular diagram. Here from A to B node searching goes, from B to then it moves to C, but as C is not a goal and limit is 1, depth limit is 1, therefore the solution is not obtained in this problem as well. So, that is why in general we can say that the DLS does not guarantee to reach the goal node. It may reach, but does not guarantee. It will not definitely reach the goal node all the time, not in all the cases. Optimality, it does not give optimal solution as it expands the nodes till the depth limit. So, it is not optimal. Optimal means what? Best solution. The algorithm which can give the best possible solution, best means low cost solution, such a algorithm is called as optimal solution, and the property is called as optimality. Okay, so this DLS algorithm does not give optimal solution, so it will not satisfy optimality property. Space complexity is O B raised to L. B is a branching factor and L is what? Yes, predetermined limit. In the previous two algorithms, we found that space complexity was B raised to D. That means B was branching factor and D was depth. But here, as L is introduced, so there is no role for D, that is why B raised to L, and time complexity is also same. That means space complexity and time complexity depends on, space and time complexities of this DLS algorithm depends on what is the value of branching factor and what is the value of limit. The next algorithm we are going to discuss is uniform cost search algorithm. Unlike BFS, unlike breadth first search algorithm, this uninformed search explores nodes based on their path cost from the root node. That means it takes the help of path cost concept. Okay. Up till now we studied breadth first search, depth first search, depth limited search. This particular concept was not present, path cost. Okay. First time in this searching algorithm we introduced this concept, path cost. Okay. So unlike BFS, this particular uniform cost algorithm explores the nodes based on what? Based on their path cost from the root node. It will be clarified in the example we are going to take in the next slide. It expands a node n having the lowest path cost g of n. So path cost of node n, the node whose name is n, suppose n is the name of a node, then path cost of that node is represented or denoted as g of n, where g of n is the total cost from root node to node n. That means total cost to reach to n from root node. For example, before going into the next points, let us take an example. You see, here in this particular problem, you find in the above figure it is seen that goal state is f. This is our goal state in this problem, and initial state is a. A is a root node and f is a goal node. Okay, so this goal node can be reached via E as well as D as well as C, for example, and these are the values in bracket are called as path cost. That means what is the cost of path cost to reach to B from A? It is 1. What is the cost to reach the node D from node A? Is 5. What is the cost to reach node F from node A will be 7. So what is path cost? Here in this figure it is seen that the goal state F and start state is A. There are 3 paths available to reach the goal node. Which are the 3 paths available? The first path is from A to B, A to D and D to F. This is first path. Second path, A to B, B to E, E to F, and third path to reach the goal node is A to C and C to F. We need to select an optimal path which may give the lowest total cost Gn. So which particular path will give you the lowest path cost? The cost to reach B from A is 1. The path cost to reach D from B is 5, and to reach F from D we take 7 as a cost. So if you add all these costs, you will get 0 plus 1 is for this particular path, first path. 0 plus 1 is 1, 1 plus 5 is 6, 6 plus 7 is 13, and for this second path, what is the total path cost? 0 plus 1 is 1, 1 plus 3 is 4, 4 plus 4 is 8. For this particular path, 0 plus 5, 5, 5 plus 4 is 9. So out of all these 3 paths, the path cost for this second path is lowest, that is 0 plus 1 plus 3 plus 4 plus 8. Based on this cost, uniform cost search will follow which path? This second path. It will not follow A, B, D, F. It will not follow A, C, F. Okay. Even though the number of nodes along this path are higher as compared to this, but the total path cost for this second path is low. That's why in case of uniform cost search, this particular path will be followed to reach the goal node or to get a solution. Solution means what? To reach to the destination, to reach to the goal node is nothing but solution, means we obtain the solution. Okay. So this is the uniform cost search. So uniform cost search, it expands a node n having the lowest path cost g of n, where g of n is the total cost from root node to node n. Okay, it is significantly different from BFS because of following two reasons. Breadth first search. How it is different from breadth first search? First, the goal test is applied to node only when it is selected for expansion, not when it is first generated. If the node is selected for expansion, then and then only goal test is performed, because the first goal node which is generated may be on a suboptimal path. Secondly, a goal test is added to a node only when better or optimal path is found. Okay, means each time goal test is not performed. Okay, thus uniform cost search expands nodes in a sequence of their optimal path cost, because before exploring any node it searches the optimal path. Before exploring any node, for example here, before going into this path or along this path or along this path, it first of all calculates the path cost for all of these three options, three solutions, because each of this path gives you the solution. This path also gives you the solution, and this path also gives you the solution, because F is our goal node. But before traversing, before exploring the search tree, before exploring the nodes, exploring means moving, before exploring the nodes or before expanding the nodes, it calculates the path cost for each of the route, and then only it traverses the graph. So this is the meaning. Uniform cost search expands nodes in a sequence of their optimal path cost, because before exploring any node. So before is not suitable here, it searches the optimal path. So this is uniform cost search. So how would you explain the algorithm? Set root node and expand it, or you can also mention in a simple manner, set a root node or set a variable node to the root node or initial state. Second step, after expanding the root node, select one node having the lowest path cost and expand it further. Okay, remember the selection of node should give a optimal path cost. For example, here you find the path cost for this particular node was this particular node was 1. Path cost for C is 5. That's why after this root node B is expanded. Okay, C is not expanded. After this node B, two successor nodes were D and E. The path cost for D is 5 and path cost for E is 3. That's why D is not explored. Okay, E is explored, and after E there is only one child node and it is a root. This is your goal node. That's why the uniform cost search algorithm follows this particular path. It checks before expanding or exploring root node A, it checks whether the first node is having low cost or second node. Comparing 1 and 5, 1 is the lowest. That's why A is expanded in this direction towards B, not towards C. So this is the meaning of this particular statement. So after expanding the root node, select one node having the lowest path cost and expand it further. Remember the selection of node should give optimal path cost. If the goal node is searched, with the optimal value, then return that goal state, else carry on the search. That means if the goal node is found with some optimal value with optimal path cost, then return that particular goal node. Return means return to the agent. Otherwise, carry on searching the goal state or goal node. What are the performance measures? First, completeness. Uniform cost search is complete, such as if there is a solution. Uniform cost search will find it. it is a complete. You need to remember that. Is it a complete? Is this algorithm complete? Yes, it is complete. Only you have to remember this. Optimal, it is always optimal as it only selects a path with the lowest path cost. It is always optimal. Time complexity, let C hash or C star is the cost of optimal solution, and zeta is each step to get each step to get closer to the goal node. Then the number of steps is C star divided by zeta plus 1. Zeta is what? Is the cost to get closer to goal node, cost of each node to get closer to goal node. So this is, here we have taken plus 1 as we start from state 0 and ends to C star epsilon divided by epsilon. Hence the worst case time complexity of uniform cost search is B raised to 1 plus C star divided by zeta. Same formula is also applicable to space complexity. Iterative deepening depth first search. Iterative deepening depth first search. This search is combination of breadth first search and depth first search. As breadth first search guarantees to reach the goal node and DFS occupies less memory, what is the advantage of BFS? Breadth first search always guarantees to reach the goal node. Please refer the previous video which we prepared on BFS. And what is the advantage of DFS? Depth first search, it occupies less memory as compared to BFS. So these two advantages are combined together to form another strategy, searching strategy, that is called as iterative deepening depth first search strategy. Therefore, iterative deepening search combines these two advantages to reach to the goal node. It finds out the best depth limit and does it by gradually increasing the limit until a goal is found. It gradually increases the depth limit from 0 to 1, 1 to 2 and so on, and reach the goal node. We can understand this if we go through some problem. Now here let us take this particular problem. This is a search tree for a certain problem. Okay, suppose this is our start state or root node, initial state, and this is H is our goal node for this particular problem. Assume this. In the above figure, the goal node is H and initial depth limit is 0 to 1. So it will expand level 0 and 1, yes, and we will terminate with A, B, C sequence, A, B and B to C. Just recall back the depth limited search. Further change the depth limit 0 to 3. It will again expand the nodes from level 0 till level 3 and search terminate with A, B, D, okay, then from D to F and then F to E, because D is already traversed, then E to H, and this way your goal node can be obtained. So here what happened? Let me erase this. In this, what is the idea of iterative deepening depth first search? The depth limit is started with some initial value, and if the goal node is obtained, then no problem. If the goal node is not obtained, then depth limit is increased. This is the facility in iterative deepening depth first search, which was not, this facility was not available in depth limited search, DLS algorithm. In DLS algorithm, once the depth limit is decided, you cannot increase or decrease that depth limit, and due to this, the disadvantage we faced. What was the disadvantage of depth limited search? The solution is not guaranteed, the goal is not obtained guaranteedly. Okay, here what happened? Initially the depth limit is set as 0 to 1. Okay, so therefore level 0 is covered and level 0 is covered and level 1 is also covered during searching. from node A to A is expanded or explored in this direction B, and then from B to C. Okay, but as A, B, C are not our goal nodes, therefore this depth limit is of no use. Therefore increase the depth limit to 3, 0 to 3. That means it will cover now level 0 nodes, level 1 nodes, and level 2 nodes. Sorry, level 2 nodes and level 3 nodes. So 3 levels will be now covered. All the nodes up to this level 3 will be covered, because the depth limit is now kept as 0 to 3. Now in this particular case, what will happen? A is expanded, node A is expanded along B direction, from B to then D, and then D to then F. Okay, as F is not our goal node, therefore it will backtrack. It can, from F it can backtrack to either D or E. So where it should backtrack? It should backtrack to E. Why? Because D is already traversed. From E it can backtrack to either B or H, but B is already covered, therefore B will not be explored. E will be explored along H in this direction, downward direction, and goal test is performed, and after this goal test it is found that the current node is a goal node, therefore search is stopped. Another example here you will find iterative deepening depth first search example. Let us assume this is a search tree for particular problem, level 0, level 1, level 2, level 3. So nodes are available in 3 levels. First iteration A, second iteration A, B, C. That means depth limit is kept as 1. Okay. For third iteration, depth limit is kept as 2. Depth limit is now kept as 2. So in the third iteration, the traversing will be like this: A to B, B to D. You see this sequence: A to B, B to D, D to E. Okay, D to E, E to C, C to F, and F to G. So how it will traverse? In the second iteration, if the depth limit is 2, then how the traversing will occur? From node A is expanded in this direction towards B, then it will move, searching will move to D like this, because depth limit is 2, therefore level 2 nodes will be allowed. From D it cannot move to the next level because the depth limit is 2, so it can backtrack to the search tree. But as the node B is already covered, so it will backtrack to, it will move to node E. From node E it can backtrack to the node if some node is available for the previous level. Obviously from E, F is also available, C is also available, but as C is of previous level to E, therefore it will backtrack to C, and that's why C comes here before F. Then from C is explored towards F, and from F it cannot go to K because depth limit is 2, therefore it will reach to G. So this is the path of traversing in third iteration. In the fourth, and each time the goal node is checked. If the goal node is achieved, then it will stop searching. For example, in the fourth iteration it is mentioned A to B, B to D, D to H, H to I to E, I to E, then E to C, C to F, and F to K, and K to G. This way also in the fourth iteration, if the depth limit is kept 3, then also you can obtain the solution. So in the fourth iteration, the algorithm will find the goal node. So algorithm can be explained stepwise in this fashion. Step 1, explore the nodes in DFS order, depth first search order. Set limit, depth limit. Loop each node up to the limit value. Further increase the depth limit value if such a requirement is there. Terminate the search when goal state is found. Okay, what are the performance measures? Completeness, iterative deepening search may or may not reach the goal state. It may also happen. The algorithm is not complete. Why? Sometimes the goal state may not be achieved. Sometimes it can be achieved, sometimes it may not be achieved. Optimality, it does not give you the optimal solution always. Complexity, space complexity, time complexity, these are b raised to d. Okay, and time complexity is d. So it depends on depth factor here, branching factor as well as depth factor. So in the next lecture we will discuss bidirectional search algorithm. Okay, thank you.